Well, we're going to prune this crabapple tree. This is like I don't think it's a standard. I think it's a semi-dwarf. And the 3Ds, diseased, dead, or damaged. We don't have any damaged wood. We don't have any dead wood. I think I planted this 2 years ago. And that is my first scaffold branches. I have 4 down there going each way. And you have to picture that once I put a bigger cage on this so the deer won't eat it, but once this tree is standing by itself, we'll just pretend that this branch here is that branch. As it gets bigger and gets fruit on it, it will come down. These branches will come down. With a lot of fruit, they would come down and be more vertical. And they all have really good crotch angles. You want 45 or better. You don't want a narrow crotch angle. Narrow crotch angles are generally where the cut is. See, this is a lot more narrow than that is because it's right up here where it was cut off to make growth. But I do have some disease. See that place right there? That is a disease. And I could try to cut it off right there, but it's probably going to be in that one. So what I'm going to do is cut it off clean right there. Alright, you got to do it because it's got disease on it. Now this energy on that branch will go out this way. And see, this is going out that way. Alright, now up here, we've finished the 3Ds. The next thing is you don't need anything growing from the trunk that isn't one of your branches. And you try to cut it off fairly cleanly so that it will heal over. Alright, we're taking care of that. Now we have apical dominance. Now this one was the dominant bud and it is the main trunk. And I have scaffold branches there. I have 2 branches here, and I could possibly have branches here by weighting this one down. It's about a 45. I don't know particularly. That's too sharp a crop angle. See, it's maybe 45, but it's maybe a little less than 45. And since this one is pretty close to these, I don't need that. And this is going to be my trunk. So I want it to grow. Now you have apical dominance on buds at the top of a shoot, but on these growing shoots, there's not really any buds to have dominance yet. So then my problem is that's going to be my trunk, and that I don't need. And I can maybe use that one because once you get some weight on it, you can get a little bit better angle. And this one has a good angle, perfect, and that one is too close to that. So I'm just going to always have the blade next to the cut, and the closer you make it to that collar, without cutting into the collar. So there we have that. Now that's going to be my trunk, and this is going to be a branch. And I don't need that branch because it would be growing toward the inside. So I'm going to make that clean. Right here, this one's growing into where this branch is, and I have one going out, and you always want to make things grow out. So you cut that one off. So that will go out that way as a branch. And now I should have done this before all this growth came out, but it's just, you know, we're 46-7 miles away and we can't get down here that much, and it's been awful wet and cloudy and rainy, and would have been a lot better to do this before all this new growth appeared. Here's a branch. We'll just take them one at a time. That's a branch going up, and that's where it was cut last year. And I'm going to cut that off right there. That branch will come this way. This is vegetative. It could turn into a branch, but right now I can take it off. The smaller the cut, the less chance of disease. Cutting this one off, this one might fill that in a little bit. That's a branch that's going that way. Now that branch will come up, this branch will come up, the next branch will come up, and you'll have an open center. And that bud right there is controlling these, so they won't break as long as that bud's on it, because it's apical, and it will control this growth. So if you cut that off right there, it gets rid of the dominants, and now these will come out. I don't need anything to grow toward the center of the tree, and this will make a branch going that way, and this will make a branch going that way. That is going to make a branch going that way. That's going to be my trunk. In fact, yeah, I can live with those two. And this one right there would be growing back toward the center. And if I'd done this earlier, none of this growth would be up there. I'd do all this and hold the camera and cut it properly. There's the cut made. So that's going to go that way, that's going to go that way, and this one needs to go that way. Now that will go that way, so that'll go that way, that'll go that way. I can probably lower that one a little bit. Well, I didn't want to cut cleanly. So I'm going to have a branch growing this way, right there, and that's growing to the inside. I'm sorry I'm not on the camera where it is, and I don't want any branches growing to the inside. And that's pretty much all I need to do to it. Except these are all trying to be the dominant bud, because this is where it used to be, and they all are trying to go up.